Hey guys, so welcome. Hey, Diane's here. That's so cute. Diane, you're so funny. I just love it. Jerry's here. Hi guys. So I am here just a few minutes early, and if you're new to my channel, we always start at about 5 minutes after the hour to make sure that everyone's got plenty of time to come in. In the meantime, if you don't want to watch this and you're watching us live, you can head on over to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you. And Jennifer Marker, hello. And so the Facebook group is a non-commitment, non-drama place where it's safe for everyone to hang out and share inspiration with one another. So everyone is welcome, even your mama, if you watched my last video. Wednesday nights I put out a fun little video that I create a card in 5 minutes, and you're encouraged to create along with me. And I put in little funny quips along the way. It's just a really good time. Family friendly, no cussing or anything like that. So if you're worried about that, the whole family can watch. Yay, Kelly made it, and Michelle. So if you see anybody with a blue name, they're the moderators. They're here to make sure that people don't come in and make fun of my big forehead or how small my anatomy is, and you know, that sort of fun stuff that pops up from time to time. So we are always welcome. We are always welcoming those guys and really happy that they're here because they play an important role. So I'm hoping that you can see everything that I've got going on today. I made the window of my face a little bit smaller, and I put the little Quality Crafts name on the far bottom because people were complaining they couldn't see enough. So now it's huge, and I really hope that works out for everybody. So hi, Vicki, welcome. I'm going to give everybody about 5 more minutes to come in here, and I'm going to welcome people as they come in. So if you're new to my channel, if you're unfamiliar with how I work my live streams and things like that, I just want to let you know if you're watching archived, there's a little button at the bottom that you can push and skip all this. So you can watch just the parts you want to watch. It's completely within your control. If you're watching live, you can stop, pause, gather information that you're looking for, and then move that little button to where we are live to catch up with us anytime that you feel you're in control of it. Cindy's here, yay! Hi, Tamara and Barbara. Oh, it has been a little while, hasn't it? So Barbara's from Australia. We have people from all over the world, so that's really cool. Thank you so much. She said it looks great. I just got rid of all of the fun stuff. I thought it would be awesome for people that are archived, watching it archived, to be able to see what we're saying in chat. But the way I had it set up, it took up half the screen and you still couldn't read it no matter how big. Well, some people could. There were a few that said it was totally fine. But I have a huge, big screen for my computer and I couldn't read any of it. So I just decided, just let that go. Hi, Maureen. Hey, Pam. Kathy. Hello, Kathy. How you doing? Cheers, guys. I'm so glad you came. So we've got about 4 more minutes to just give everybody plenty of time to get in here. It's a Thursday night. It's been really mostly crummy and cloudy here in Wisconsin. Part of this week. I was sick part of this week. Let's see, this weekend is Easter, so I will be doing, I already have pre-scheduled to do a Blue Bowl if you're in that progressive swap. Hi, Kimberly and Jerry. If you're in the Blue Bowl progressive swap, we're doing a garden, and there's little flowers images that you get to choose from. And I don't have them all on hand right now, but I just want to mention to you that if you are in that, I'm coloring one of those Blue Bowl images tomorrow evening. So make sure you stay tuned for that, if that's something that you like to do. I can't remember what. Maybe it'll be up to you guys, what kind of coloring you want to see. I believe I've done watercolor, Spectrum Noir markers, and colored pencils. So if you've got a choice between those 3 and there's one that you really want, let me know tonight and I'll pull out whatever everyone's going to. Hey, Linda, welcome. Oh yes, Michelle said, make sure you give me a thumbs up after this processes. I don't know, can you do the thumbs up while we're live? I don't know what you guys see on your end. I don't have a little thumbs up on mine, so I'm not sure. But that really helps me in the YouTube, you know, the whole algorithm world and all that kind of stuff. So if you can go back and give me a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Oh, 14 straight days of rain in Kansas, but it was beautiful today, she said. That's awesome, Pam. I think we maybe had a half a day here and there of some sun, but it's just been the. Oh, that would be awesome, Kelly. So, yeah, I know we must have some Blue Bowl progressive people in this group. I think so. I saw Sandy Hensel she does she runs the group Scrapbook Blessings Club on Facebook, so go and check that out. I saw her use these and I thought that they looked so fun. I wanted to get some for myself, but I'm just telling you now, we've got 1 minute to go. I have never used these before. I just got them. This is the brand new container that it comes in. It comes all set up triangle like this. I'm going to show you what came out of this box, and we're going to look at this whole thing together. And then I'm going to demo using the Peekaboo Lulu Blue Bowl image, and you can get this at her shop by looking it up, typing in Peekaboo Lulu, spelled just like that. Peekaboo Lulu. And just because this has a lot of big open space, it's going to give me a really nice place to lay down some color, and we're going to experiment together and see how these work. This is not a tutorial where I show you I know how to use them and I'm going to show you how to use them and it's going to be awesome and that kind of thing. This is going to be more like a demo, like a review, only I did not get paid. I am not being sponsored or paid anything to do this. I just really loved the way they looked when Sandy Bell Hensel used them, and I wanted to try them for myself. So I bought the 36 marker set, and it's $6.05. So let's get started. What came in this package is, oh my gosh, Linda, she still has to color. Well, you still have to color yours for April. Well, we're in April right now, honey. You have the whole month. So this is what came inside this box. Is this black? The thing that I love the most about it is it actually came with its own holder. So this is how it comes, and you've got markers on each side. Okay, and then on one corner, I'm going to show you from the top. There's this Velcro strip here that comes apart, so that when you flip the whole thing over, you can shut one side and the other and flip it around and just Velcro it shut, and then you can take it with you. It's a full case. I don't know of any other case that I've seen recently where you can do this, grab your markers and go. So you're going to notice that these are smaller than regular markers. Let me just give you a comparison here. These are now watercolor, but these are alcohol based. And you see the difference in size? It's much shorter and much smaller around. I'm also going to pull out, let's see, so these are my regular colored pencils. Even with a colored pencil, it's quite a bit shorter. It's almost the same width, a little bit wider than a colored pencil though. Okay, and then I'm going to pull out another marker so you can get another size comparison. If you guys have Stampin' Right markers from Stampin' Up, they look like this. And so here's that. This is the Docrafts marker, and this is the Stampin' Up one. And they are quite a bit shorter and a little bit smaller. Okay. So I don't want you guys to get confused in the fact that these are not alcohol-based markers. They are watercolor markers, okay? The only reason I pulled out the Spectrum Noir is to give you just kind of a size comparison because I know some of you guys have them. So these, they're kind of small, which I like. And they come in 36 different colors. I was hoping to tell you what the colors are, but they literally do not name their colors. So you've got some yellows, oranges, pinks and a little bit of red, and that might be a red. I'll pull out some paper, we'll test them out. Then you've got some purples, blues, and greens. And then greens, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be, if these are tans or browns maybe. And looks like maybe a silver. I don't even know what this is. But we're going to pull out some paper here before we do the image, okay? And I'm going to show you what they look like being colored out on, like making a swatch of what the colors look like. So I'm just going to fold this so that we just have one side showing first. And maybe bring you in just a tad. So how many of you guys already have this particular set? Either some of these exact markers or this exact set. I'm just really curious. I do not think these are refillable in any sort of way. If you're impressed with the set and you like them, I can't give you my opinion because this is the first time I've ever used them. It's going to be on screen with you guys. We're just going to check it out. But if you're impressed and you want to purchase them, you can get them from Amazon. And what I've done is I've done my affiliate link. Just so you know, I don't get paid to talk about these, but I do work. I'm starting to work as an affiliate with Amazon just because I adore using Amazon. I know some of you guys do too. But if you want to buy them through my link, if you go to qualitycrafts.com and you go to my store and scroll all the way down the bottom, you'll see my affiliate links of products that either I really like and I've used before and I highly recommend. And then I added this one in there just so that if you're like, wow, I really want those, if you go to that link, then I get a small commission if you purchase. No big deal to me if you purchase or not. If you decide that you like them, go for it. Like I said, I saw Sandy Hensel use them, and I thought they really looked cool. So we're just going to go ahead. This is how teeny tiny the brush tip is. It's pretty small. And this is the other side. It's like a really itty bitty bullet tip. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to show you how they look. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring you in and show you how I'm going to see how far I can get you in. There we go. So this is the brush tip. Do I need to turn off the autofocus? I wonder. Let me just show. I'm just going to turn that off quick. Just as it doesn't keep jumping on you. So this is considered the brush tip. The whole thing does not move, just the end. Okay, so it's a long brush tip, but that whole thing doesn't bend. All right, so just that tip. Do you see the tip that bends? Not the whole thing, but the very, very end. So you could get the teeniest, tiniest lines with these. Or if you press, you can get a much deeper line, thicker line, okay? That's the brush side. So you can get a thick one if you push and go to the side, and you get a very, very thin line if you just put it on the tippy top. Oh, darn it, I'm too far in. Okay, so if you just do the tip, I'll try to get my hand out of the way there. You can get really thin lines. If you push, you're going to get really thick lines. So that's how they do the what do you call it? I don't do, I'm trying to learn, I'm going to learn eventually how to do the, what do you call it? Help me out, guys. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those fun letters that you get that are thick and thin, you could totally use these to get that. So that's the brush tip. And of course, this one is a red. I was wondering if it was red. And this is the bullet tip. It's very hard. You can get dots from it. You can get lines. But even if you go on the side, that's about as thick of a line as you're going to get. Brush lettering. Yes, brush lettering. These are great for that. So that's a red. Now that you've kind of seen them just a little bit, let me back off just a bit. And we'll go through the colors that they have. I'm going to try to stick with the brush. So we've got like a red, right? And they do show on the edge, in case I didn't show that clearly. If you look on the side, it shows you where the brush end is and where the little bullet or nib end is, okay? And it's got Docrafts Artiste Watercolor dual tip pens. And then what does it say there? Let's see if I can get it to clear up so you can see what it says. Wow, sometimes these cameras are just so stinking picky. It says high quality, water-based, acid-free, and non-toxic. So here's the second color, which just is a little bit lighter than the other one. Looks more like a darker orange. This one is very much a pink. So there's 36 colors. We're going to go through all 36 colors. This one's more of a plum, maybe. I just want to give you an idea of what this case really comes with. It's hard to tell sometimes just by looking at the markers what they're going to be. There's a lighter pink. See, now I would have put those in different order, depending, you know, on what they look like. Get a nice, like, apricot peach there. That looks like a regular, maybe a regular orange. I did turn the autofocus back on. It didn't help me. I don't know. I'll try when I get to the bottom of this row. This is another kind of an orange. And then I'm going to add water after I'm done showing you the colors. And we're going to see how that blends out. And then I'm going to demo you doing the image. So you've got a whole bunch of really nice oranges there. A lot of different tones. Yeah, you probably didn't see me, but I did turn the autofocus back on. I'm sneaky like that. Calligraphy is what I meant. Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier. So these would really actually, oh, there's a nice golden yellow. These actually would be really nice for calligraphy, I think. So now we've got this side where they look kind of green. There we go. So now you can see all the colors here. I wasn't sure what this was. Is this supposed to be a black or a gray maybe? Yep. So we've got a really nice charcoal black there. A nice gray. I'm going to try to remember, you guys. I'm being pulled in so many different directions. I'm going to try to remember to put this swatch along with a picture of these and everything and do a little blog post in case you're like, you know, I really don't remember what she said or whatever, or what the colors were, and I really want to get a look at those again, that you'll have a place to go to. So these are some really nice brown colors. You can even use these for skin tones. I'm guessing between mixing one of these browner tones along with maybe this peach, you might get a nice looking skin tone. I'd have to play around with them though to see what I get. Uh-oh, I can't remember what number I'm on now. I'll go from black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, this one. Oh, that's an interesting color. That's a really dark brown. Almost a gray, but still brown. Oh, look at that green. That's like an olive green or old olive if you're a Stampin' Up fan. My favorite color. That's a cool green, more like an evergreen. And a dark green. Ooh, bright green. That's pretty. So here's the one downside of this set that I see already is that unless I work with these a lot, I'm not going to remember what colors they are. So if, you know, as I'm coloring, I'm going to have to do a little test. You know how when you have your image on the side and before you start coloring, you just kind of draw on the corner here? And then you have a whole bunch of little dots of color over there. Yeah, that's gonna happen. You're gonna have to do that to find out what color you really want to be using there. So there we've got some browns, grays, and greens. And then we've got one more side to this which is like the greens, purples, and blues. So let's continue with these and see what we get. Ooh, another really pretty light green. That's nice. I do wish that they came with skin colors. I'm not 100% happy with the peach. Although the browns that they included are really nice. That's a pretty eggshell blue, or almost like a teal. More of a greener tone. And now I think we're probably going to be getting into some more actual real blues. Oh, that's pretty. A really dark one. Now, a lot of these are going to be really blendable together. They have a really nice selection. Again, I'm just disappointed a little bit that, oh, that's pretty, that they don't have the actual skin tones. So probably if I was using the colors, I thought this was going to be like a little more purple, but that's more like a true blue. They might be a little distorted on your end, I'm guessing. Oh, that's a deep blue. That's really pretty. Only because every single camera picks up color differently. That's a gorgeous purple. We've got 3 more markers, so I'm just going to make sure that these all fit on here. There's another really fun purple. It is quiet tonight. I'm guessing that probably doing a demo of something isn't as exciting as me creating something. But I was just so excited about these. I really, really wanted to try them out. So that's all 36 colors right there. All being said, in 36 colors, they really did hit most of the highlight colors of things that I would use. I love using turquoise, teals, and pinks and browns. I just wish that there were a couple of tones you could use for skin. Like I might use that for skin. Maybe as we blend them out, this might turn to a lighter, more appropriate skin tone, and maybe some of the other ones will as well. So we might do a couple of swatches of skin on this gal just to test things out and see what we get. Again, if you're curious about this one is a Bluebell digi-stamp called Peekaboo Lulu. That's supposed to be a bee. That's supposed to be a bee. Peekaboo. So if you're looking for that stamp, bluebell.com, she's got them. You can find them there. So now what I want to try to do is see how well these blend out. I'm going to take another piece of paper here. They cost about $1 a marker, depending on where you buy them. So this was a set of 36. I think I paid either $35 or $36. I can't remember which. Let me just jump over there and see if it gives me the price. And if it does, I'll let you know. Looks like I can't reach that right now. I don't know what the deal is. More purples would have been nice. Yeah, there's about 4 purples, which not, I guess, not too bad. Because the blues, there's only like 3 blues. I'd say the most they have is greens. I do like the reds and the pinks. There's a lot of orange. I'm going to use a water brush here. And I'm going to put some water from this brush right next to me so I've got a little pile to dip from. And I'm going to use like one of these purples. I think this is a purple. And I'm just going to do a couple of swatches back and forth and then add some water and see how that blends out. It's like jumping out and like spreading through the water. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's very, very light, and it does leave behind that purple mark. You know what? I'm going to switch over to a piece of 110-pound cardstock, which is what I would most likely be using with mine. Yeah, see, I was expecting a lot more of a drag. A lot more of a, how do I say it? Let me put that down. I mean, you can tell that the color's moving, but look how really, really light that is. So the only other thing I could suggest, and this is what she told me too, is to take one of your blocks and color it directly on the block, and then pick it up with your watercolor pen, and then you get a much nicer blend. So there's the difference between that. I really wanted this kind of a blend with the drawing straight on it, and it's just not moving. It's just not moving how I wanted it to. But putting it on the block would work, and that gives you a really nice blend out. So I would definitely use it like that. I think if I'm going to color an image with you guys, that's how I would use it. I'm just going to wipe up my watery mess here and pull in a dry piece of paper because I still want to color that. I want to color that image with you guys yet. So I am going to use the block, which means I'm probably going to push these guys out of the way. And you can use any kind of watercolor brush for this. I mean, this kind of, you know, watercolor brush. Or if you don't have a watercolor brush, just a plain old paintbrush and some water. And so right to my right of me where you can't see, I have my water well, my rinse well. I'm just going to pull it in because I'm sure there are a few people yet that maybe not have seen this. I should probably put this as one of my favorite things too, because I use this all the time. There's 4 little spots for your brushes and stuff. So I've got these paint brushes in here, and then this little blue right here, that's where the water flushes down like a toilet when you push this button. It goes in, and then it just comes out of this canister and refills. You can hear it coming in. I'm not using watercolor paper, but you can. Somebody else wants to know, how does the effect change if you wet the paper first? So we're going to try that. I'm going to use my rinse well that I've got here. Pull out that purple again. Okay, I'm going to wet down the paper here. It definitely spreads. It definitely spreads a lot better. I'm going to bring you back in again. Hope I'm not making anybody sick. I get motion sickness really, really bad. It does look like a potty. That's funny. Okay, so here's adding the water. You can see that, and then adding the marker right into it. It definitely blends out a lot better. You're still going to get that mark of where you put that marker down though. And adding the water like that on the 110-pound cardstock as it is right now is definitely pilling up my paper. So if you're going to do a lot of water adding, you're going to want to use some watercolor paper. I really like just taking it from the block and being able to use my 110-pound. But it does work. So here, I'll do it again. Here's some water. And then dropping the marker in there. I just don't like the fact that it leaves the lines behind. You can see them. That bugs me. It's a lot lighter now that I stuck it in the water, but once you keep drawing with it, it becomes much darker again. So you don't have to worry about ruining it if you do stick it in the water. Ooh, stamping with them. So let me pull a stamp out and we'll try that. That is a really good idea. Let's try it with my leaf stamp, the one that everyone covets. I do like this leaf stamp. It's pretty fab. It is by Stampin' Up, but it's from 1988, guys. 1988. Oh. Okay. So I'm just going to color like half of this leaf purple. These do say that they dry quick. I don't know how quick, but let's just try this. Yep, you can totally use them for stamping. Look at that. That's pretty cool. You know what? That's half the leaf and it looks like a shell, doesn't it? I like the look of that. Let's try it with a green. And these would be definitely awesome for coloring in those little teeny stamps that I have in the store. Oh my gosh. These would totally work great for that. Because they get so tiny. Oh yeah, I was going to use a green, wasn't I? I feel really out of sorts today. I'm just a little bit behind in almost everything. Oh, I know. I was going to wipe it off with a wet wipe. I don't want to get purple on my green. Although I have a feeling that if you got some other color on it, you could probably just wash it out. I'll show you what I mean. Oops. So you're going to want to use the brush side for sure if you're going to do this. The little nib side's not going to get you anywhere. So I'm doing this side green. Stamp it down. And then let's see what happens if we add a little bit of water to that. So here's our image in green. I don't see it really moving that much. I mean, you have to add water like immediately if you want it to move. Am I not hiding my disappointment very well? Look at that. After it dries, if you want that kind of effect, that's good. But look, after it dries, it's really not going to move much, if anything at all. Hi, Penny. Who else did I miss? Brandy came in and Donna. I might have missed a few more of you guys. I'm sorry when I get into something like my chat just... I do like the suggestions though. That's going really well. So you can use them for stamping. You definitely can use them for coloring. They've got a lot of nice, really nice colors. And we did with water and without and from the block. And it seems that if you're going to color something, it's best to color on the block, which you can do with any kind of color, even a marker that's not a watercolor marker. I mean, seriously, this is why I'm disappointed, because I can take my cheapo 99-cent Crayola markers. I need another piece of paper. Well, I'm just going to grab one from here. Okay. I can take my cheapo 99-cent marker from Crayola, put that on my block, add a little water to that, and I can watercolor with that as well. Check it out. I mean, you don't need anything fancy if you're going to use the block and do watercoloring at all. It'll work with any marker, practically any marker in the world that's water-based. You know, that's not, you don't have to have a, oh, I've got like, dang, the last time I used this, I must have used some, talking about my Rinsewell, I must have used it to make something shiny because there's like shimmer stuff in this now. I don't know if you can tell. But they are shimmering, and the water is just filled with shimmer. How cool is that? So anyway, yeah, I mean, you can use any marker to do that with. So I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that I thought that these markers would move, the color would move a lot more. When I watched Sandy do them, they seem to be like really moving for her. So I don't know if there's something, I'm just not sure that I'm all completely impressed with this set, to be honest. I think there's probably a better set out there somewhere that moves more than this. So let's just go for it with the black and this image and see what we can come up with. I do want to try out those oranges to see if we can't get, hey Brandy and Sandy, I want to try out one of those oranges. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 6 colors in. It was this one. And I'm going to test it on the side just to make sure. So we thought that that might make just kind of a really good skin color. So I'm just going to scribble some of this on the block so we can see if it really does come out as a nice skin tone. I'm going to get a little water mixed in with that. And I'm going to bring you in a little bit more so you can see where the skin tone goes on there. And you know what? That is not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I'm starting with the darker as I dipped it in and then coming down to the middle of her face so that the middle of her face is lighter than where I started. If you're new to coloring and stuff, you want your darker colors to be a little bit more towards the outside. So when you do a technique like this, you're going to want to start the color on the outside and then drag it inwards. So yeah, that turned out like a really nice skin tone, I think. Might be a little bit different than what we're used to. Might be a little bit not, you know, it's not the same as what I'm used to using my Spectrum Noir. So, you know, the perfectionist me might go, eh. but it looks nice. And like I said, if we wanted to add in, so let's say that I'm going to set this aside so that I know that's the one that I used. I can always put it back in. Flip this back over, put my green back where it was, and I'm going to pull out one of those browns. Okay, so we're going to want like maybe the first brown. Let's test this one. Let's see if this is a brown. This is the light brown. So now I'm going to do is on the other side of my block. Let me move this in where you guys can see. I'm going to scribble some of this light brown. Get rid of the fuzzies. There we go. And we're going to see what we can do with this light brown in making some shadows on here. So we're going to add a little bit of water to that. And again, we're going to start from the edges. Start from the edges and then bring it in until it kind of washes out. Now, this is my first time using this set and practicing with them, so it's not going to be artist quality. It's not going to be like something like, whoa, that's awesome, okay? It's just not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And then I'm mixing a little bit of it in with the peach so that I can mix it together. So as it comes down, it did a lot more blending. See that? Okay. So as far as this goes, using the black and stuff, I love it. I think it looks really nice. The blending is good. I'm not using quality paper here, so obviously you're going to see some pilling, and that's okay. If you're really concerned about pilling and that kind of thing, you're going to want to get yourself some watercolor paper. I just don't bother. I'm not a big watercolor paper purchaser. I have some, but mostly I got mine at what do you call it? Garage sales, and you know, just even my sister and my mom pick up stuff for me now when they see it. So I'm going to try one of these lighter pinks and see if I can't get a little bit of a pink tone in her cheeks here. So we're just going to throw on a little bit of pink here. It's not a real dark pink. This is one of the lighter ones. I'll put the little swatch there. See, it's the lighter pink. So probably if you're looking at this, it's probably this one right here, the lightest. Yeah, I think I missed a dot on your stamp pad. I think I missed a little bit of the conversation here. I'm sorry if I haven't been able to keep up. But I'm going to mix a little water in with this pink, and we're going to see if we can't get a little pink on our cheeks here. Oh, for sure. And I just bring it up the cheekbone a little bit. So let's put a little bit over here. And the more empty your brush gets, the more you can sneak it out into the other color and make it look like it's more blended. But you're not going to want to try to doing that and bring it out into her face while your brush is still fully loaded with pink, if you get what I'm saying. So what happens is you get a nice pink there, right? And it kind of blends in. And you can dab up with a whatever. It's still shimmery from that water. Kind of digging that. I mean, it's not perfect. I would put a little bit even more darker of a line near her hairline to really pull that out. But I want to try, I'm going to rinse this off just a little bit, this brush, and I'm going to wipe off my block. I want to try to put a little blue in her eyes to make that white pop. So I'm going to put that pink back and that peach back, because remember we used a peach for her skin and a pink for her cheeks there. And then I'm going to pull out maybe a blue. Now these are really dark blues, so I'm going to be careful to pick. That's a really dark blue. So I'm going to make sure to add plenty of water to that. So there's my dark blue. And we're going to add a whole bunch of water because we don't want it like really, really dark. Okay, and I'm just going to actually wipe my brush right on my towel here, rinse it in the water and wipe so that my brush itself isn't loaded with that dark color there. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this and I'm going to go around the edges of her eye. And then as I see that color disappearing and it getting a lot lighter, I may even dip my brush back in the water, then I'm going to come back in. If I think it's too much, I'm just going to dab it off. Then I can come back in with the water and like bring that out. It's not going to come out a lot. And that turned out actually kind of nice. It really made it pop. That looks really weird right now until the whole thing gets colored. You're like, her eye looks blue, looks really dumb, Jen. But trust me, you could do it with a gray or a blue, or, you know, it just makes a little difference in their eye. I don't know how to explain it. If you look at some of the other images that are online and stuff, I just learned from looking at other people's images and copying their styles. And I like the way the blue looks around the eye to make that eye pop. And you can bring it out as far, you know, as much or as little as you want. So this one on this side, I'm going to bring it out just a little bit farther, and you judge what you think. And then I'll color her irises a different color. I'm going to try, I really want to try a green. So tomorrow night I'm actually going to be coloring a different Bluebell image. It's going to be some of the flowers that she's got right now in the Progressive Challenge. If you're not already in that Progressive Challenge, you just go right over to her store, pick out a flower and purchase it for $3 and jump into the Progressive Challenge now. And then as long as you participate, then the next month you'll get the next month's for free. And that's how that works. So I'm looking for the greens. Let's see. Let's do this one. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that'll work. I'm going to do direct to paper on this against my own suggestions, I guess. I'm going to do green on the inside, and I'm going to try to watercolor it like towards the outside of the iris so that the inside is really dark. And then as it goes out, it'll be lighter. So there's a little bit of the green down. I'm going to dip into the water. I'm going to try to make that color move. See, and I don't see it moving. I just I just am disappointed that it doesn't move. I mean, I drew that and immediately put the water on it, and you guys tell me. My camera is really being putsy tonight. I don't know what the deal is. Hello, camera. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I mean, the water hardly moved at all. That really disappoints me. And I did it immediately. After I put it down, I put the water directly on it. So that really bums me out. I really thought that it would. They're watercolor. They are watercolor markers. They are made to be able to watercolor. So I'm just going to put in even some more color there, and I'm going to go over it one more time. Because I certainly don't want it to leak outside that pupil area. I mean the iris area, because that would look funny. But yeah, I'm just not, it's not moving. I mean, if I hold it up like that, you can sort of see that it moved just a teeny tiny bit. It does look kind of cool. Linda says, well, that actually looks cool. It does kind of look cool, but it's not what I expected would happen if I had a watercolor marker. So I'm a little bit disappointed, I have to admit. I mean, it's just, they're not working how I thought they would work. I thought they would move a lot more. I mean, like if you're at all familiar with like Inktense pencils and things like that react to water when you put it on and then you add the water and it just goes, it's amazing. Like you would totally love that. I mean, it's not bad. If you're looking at this and you're going, well, that's not bad. She looks kind of cool. You know, it looks really good. It's not bad, but I had to use the block, you know. I don't know. I mean, maybe the paper is sucking it up. I'm not sure. Maybe you need a certain kind of paper. That's a really good point. It's bleeding rather than moving. Yeah. Yeah, because look, it's almost onto the outside of that iris now. As we're talking, check it out. It's leaking. It's leaking almost to the edge of that. Oh, I'm glad I didn't go too far out. Otherwise, it would have been bleeding right into her eye. And this one I just colored straight on the paper right here. Just straight on and didn't add any water. But look at that one. That's interesting. So I mean, I think I would really have to play around with these a lot more to get the gist of it. We've got 15 minutes left. So I'm really gonna go ahead and finish this up. I'm gonna do some like brown for the hair and maybe a little bit of, oh, you know what? We only have like one real yellow. I want to do yellow for her bows. Let's see what kind of a look we can get with those yellows. I'm guessing this was the bright yellow. Let me just check it out. Yeah. Well, that looks kind of golden. Yeah, that's kind of golden. Let's go to the other one. Maybe it's this one. Leaking. Yeah. They're leaky. They're leaky watercolor markers. There we go. There's the bright yellow. I'm going to use the block because I just think the block technique is just so much nicer of a watercolor look. Ugh. Okay, coloring that in. I didn't get quite as dark of a yellow as I wanted. So I'm going to do a little bit more yellow here. And then I'm going to pick it straight up with no water. There we go. So I can do some of like the shadowing on the inside. That's a lot better. That looks kind of cool. Uh-oh, I got to turn off the autofocus, don't I? Too much white and it freaks out. No autofocus and then you can't see anything. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. Okay, so we're going to lay down some yellow, which is what I did here. And then go directly in without any other water and just put in some dark yellow there. I do like the look of that, but you know what? Let's add a little bit of orange to that. See if we can get a little bit more variance in that color. This one is more of like the golden yellow. I'm gonna give you a little swatch here. It's almost well, it is kind of a light orange. It is. It's a light orange. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to my tip, just so that it just isn't such a difference. Yeah, that makes a difference. So it still looks kind of yellow, but it's adding a little bit more of like the shadowy look to this. If you get what I'm saying, let me pull this up so you can see it a little bit closer. Do you see that? I like the look of that. So you want to do, if you want to see more coloring, which I probably won't use these markers again, but I'm not sure. This is 110-pound cardstock. Yep, somebody had answered that, and thank you, because sometimes I missed your question, so it's really important that you guys help each other out. I always use 110-pound cardstock. You can use watercolor paper or whatever you choose to use. You just kind of go with what you learned and what your experience is and that kind of thing. And this is my comfort zone. This is my experience zone. And so I stick with what I know. Because what happens is when you use something over and over and over again, you begin to learn exactly how far you can go with that medium, where you need to stop, what you can get away with, what you have to be careful with, because you're so used to how they interact with each other that you literally become an expert with those things. So I'm literally an expert at watercoloring, coloring pencil, and that kind of stuff with 110-pound cardstock, because in my reactions and my experience with it, I know I can anticipate what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So it's not so much that somebody is just like, oh, well, yeah, I'm an expert with that. It comes from practice and practice and practice, and you just get so used to that medium that you just know what it's going to do. And anybody can do that. So I mean, don't be jumping, well, I don't know about this. And if you're starting out and you're jumping from watercolor paper to 110-pound to 90-pound to some kind of other kind of fancy paper, but you're not giving yourself enough time to get used to any one of them, then I think that you sometimes will get a skewed understanding of how these things work sometimes. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that the more you play with something, the more you understand how it reacts, the easier things are going to be for you. So right now I'm going in with the lighter brown with a lot of water just to put down this first brown base here. If you start seeing lines as you put it down, go over it just a second time or a little bit heavier and it'll get rid of those lines for you. And if you want a darker line, like right here, I'm putting a little bit darker. I'm going into the parts of the brown that I didn't water as much because I can see that on the block. And then I'm going back in. You can even take the really thin markers or the thin ends of these markers and add your own little hair lines, which would look really cute. I'll show you what I mean in a second. This part of her hair got a lot darker than the other part, so I may just pull out that brown, or again, or I can just go back over it like this, and as it dries, you're going to see some of the colors change. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water because I'm getting this way too dark here. Watercolor is really forgiving because let's say once this dries, you look at it and go, oh, that's really not what I was going for. You just go back in and add layers with watercolor. So like, I think her hair is not dark enough for her skin tone. I think it should be a little bit darker. So I'm going to use this time to just switch from this brown to maybe a darker brown. And see if I can't change that up a bit. Oh, that's a gray. Don't want to go that way. Need to go back down the other way. Maybe this one. So this is a much darker brown. Now on my block I did a bunch here and a little swatch here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add water to this one, but I'm going to leave that one as is. Because that way if I want to add more dark, I can. So the first thing I'm going to do is start from the edges and start kind of creating where I want my shadows to be, or where my darker spots. And you decide that, I mean, sometimes the drawing kind of gives you a gist of where that should be, and sometimes you just have to make them up on your own. I want the ones coming into her eyes to be just a little bit darker so that it doesn't blend in so much with her skin tone. Looks a little bit mottled there. I think I would probably have to let this dry a little bit more, but I'm just going to add a little bit of that really dark, no water added tone right to the edge of that. So it looks more like this bow is popping off of her hair. So it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. And I didn't forget about the lines yet. I'm going to add those in. Right? It's a journey, not a race. I love that. Okay. So what I was saying is if you wanted to add your own hair, now your own little hairlines, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can get a nice flicking, like right down. This seems to be like the partner hair right here, down the middle here. So you're going to want your lines flicking either way. I'm going to use the brush tip so that I can flick like this to make it look more like hair. See that? And I'm going to start from that point and I'm going to flick them out. Now, the lighter you push, you know, the thinner your hairs are going to be. And you can do it throughout the whole thing, through the, you know, whatever you want to do, but there's some little hairs coming in there. And then I'm going to come from the other side and I'm going to flick towards them. And then from this side and flick towards the other ones too. Okay. So if you flick from both sides, it'll look a little bit more natural instead of just having one layer. And then I'm just going to do just a few in her ponytail. And then flick a few up from the bottom. You know, just decide how you like it to look. I'm not a master of hair flicking by any means. I just like the way it looks. so I add it. Okay, so there's some hair flicking for you. Looks kind of cool. And now if that seems a little bit too stark for you, you go ahead and use the lighter brown and do some lighter brown flicking to make it kind of even out and blend in. So let me just back off. Let's see, is this the lighter brown? Yeah. So then what I'm going to do is just go back in between these guys and add some extra flicks to just kind of blend it out. I hope this is making sense. I mean, I didn't mean for this to turn into a hair flicking tutorial, but as long as we're talking about what are the uses for these markers, I mean, yeah, you can get some really cool looks from using these markers. I think they're really fun. They don't exactly work for what I had hoped they would work for, but I really, really love the brush tips. They can get really, really tiny. I would even go so far as to mix these with my Spectrum Noirs to get an even cooler look. So look at that. Now that I brought in the dark with the light. Doesn't the hair just look like so much cooler now? Yay for hair flicking! So all 34 of you guys who showed up today got to see hair flicking. You can go, nah, 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 nah. You're going to say, you're totally going to want to show up tomorrow because she's going to show hair flicking. Oh, there's so much more you guys can do to digital images to take that image and make it pop. I mean, look at her eyes now that we've got everything put together and it's had a chance to dry to, you know, that lighter shade. Now that blue in the eyes doesn't look so crazy, does it? Oh man. I love watching an image just pop off the screen like that. It's just so much fun. I'm going to back you out a bit. We've got about 3 minutes left. This is where I do a little bit of review. For those of you, right, it looks a lot more like hair, real hair. This is where I just kind of do a review of what I've done with you today. give you some insights into what's going on in the KTC world, which is, my world is the quality crafts world. And you're on my channel called Jen Evers, so thank you for coming today. I thought this was super fun. What we did was did a review, kind of, sort of, demo with the Docrafts Artiste watercolor markers. And they have 36 colors in the set that I bought. These are all 36 colors right here. We used the block technique where you scribble on the block, add water, and then take the color and put it to paper, which is basically how we colored most of her. If you want to know where to get her, she is Peekaboo Lulu. I must have turned off the autofocus. Peekaboo Lulu. I did. There it is. Over at bluebell.com if you're interested. Now, it is Thursday, and Thursday is always a winning Thursday, so anybody who wants to be in the drawing to get this fabulous little colored Lulu, you just go ahead and go on over to the Facebook group called Quality Crafts. If you don't know how to spell it, it's right here in the corner of my, right there in the corner of my thing, Quality Crafts. Go over to Quality Crafts on Facebook, join the group, and look for the reminder post for this video. It has a picture of these markers set up on it, okay? I think the purple side probably you're seeing. And leave a comment there. That's where I'm going to pick for the drawing for the person that wins that. Now, sometimes we do some really fun and exciting cards, and you win a card, or you win some fun technique paper that I've created. Today, unfortunately, you just get Lulu. But we still would like you to join the group there because it's so much fun. We get to inspire and become inspired. There's no commitment, no drama. We'd love to have everyone come over. And I am also on Twitter and Instagram and where else, you know, all over that social media stuff. And I'm on Patreon. So if you love what I do, if you come back week after week, Thursday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. I do a live stream like this, and we learn techniques and all kinds of fun things. Every Sunday afternoon, I show you something really cool to make to join in the challenge over at Quality Crafts. That's from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time in the afternoon. Would love to have you then. And every Wednesday, I do a really humorous little quip kind of 5-minute card. So I make a card in 5 minutes. It's all pre-recorded and I put in funny little sayings. It's just a humorously good time. I invite you to watch all 3 of them. So if you're coming back time at the time and you believe in my passion and spreading art to everyone from the beginner all the way through the advanced and making it super fun for everyone, I would love for you to join me on Patreon. Pledges start at just $1 a month. That's only $12 a year. And you get some fun little perks along the way. And you make it this what I'm doing here today sustainable from now until, you know, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm here to stay. So I would love to have you join me on Patreon as well. And like always, I totally cannot wait to see you guys next video.